One day, a group of his old friends visited him. They brought gifts and asked, "Rohan, how did you become so wealthy so quickly? What's your secret?" Rohan smiled politely but avoided their questions. "The gods have been kind to me," he said. His friends weren't satisfied. They began visiting frequently, trying to coax the truth out of him. Some even whispered rumors about the true nature of his wealth. Rohan's friends grew more persistent, their curiosity turning into frustration. They would flatter him, bring him expensive gifts, and even offer to share their own wealth if he revealed his secret. But Rohan held firm, knowing that sharing the truth about the ritual would only bring trouble. One evening, as they sat together, Mira noticed his troubled expression. "Rohan, what's wrong? I see the worry in your eyes," she asked gently. Rohan sighed. "Our friends keep questioning our wealth. They don't believe it's just the gods' blessings. I feel their eyes on me wherever I go." Mira took his hand and said, "Let them talk, Rohan. As long as we know the truth and stay together, we can face anything." Rohan nodded, grateful for her support. He knew she was right, but the weight of the secret pressed heavily on his heart. One calm evening, as the sun dipped below the horizon, a messenger arrived at Rohan's house with a chilling message. The old man from the forest had summoned him. Rohan's heart sank. He knew the old man's call could only mean one thing: a demand. The next morning, Rohan made his way to the forest's edge. His steps were heavy with dread and his heart raced. When he arrived, the old man greeted him with a grave expression. "The time has come for you to fulfill your end of the bargain," the old man said. "The gods demand a sacrifice." Rohan's blood ran cold. "What do you mean?" he stammered. The old man's eyes gleamed. "You must offer your only daughter, Aisha, as a sacrifice to the gods." "No!" Rohan cried, horrified. "Aisha is my only daughter. I can't do this." "If you refuse, you'll lose everything. Your wealth, your sanity, even your life. The gods will revoke their blessings and take Aisha themselves," the old man warned. Rohan was consumed by despair. He couldn't bear the thought of losing Aisha, his beloved daughter. She was kind, gentle, and the joy of their family. He begged the old man, "Isn't there another way? Please, anything but this." The old man shook his head. "There is no other way. You have 7 days to decide." Rohan returned home, his mind in turmoil. He couldn't bring himself to tell Mira about the old man's demand. The thought of sacrificing Aisha was unbearable, yet the fear of losing everything loomed over him. For days, Rohan wrestled with his conscience. He avoided Aisha's bright eyes and playful laughter, unable to face the child he loved so deeply. Mira noticed his distress and asked, "What's troubling you, Rohan? You've been so distant." He shook his head. "It's nothing. Everything will be fine," he lied, his voice heavy with guilt. On the 5th day, Rohan made his decision. He prepared the ritual items as the old man had instructed, his hands trembling. Aisha was playing in the yard when he called her. She ran to him with a trusting smile. "Papa, what's this?" she asked, looking at the dark oil and drink he had prepared. "It's important for your health, my dear. Trust me," Rohan said, his voice breaking. Aisha hesitated but trusted her father. She drank the potion and rubbed the oil on her skin, unaware of its purpose. The potion took effect and she fell unconscious. With tears streaming down his face, Rohan carried her to the forest clearing. As he laid Aisha on the ground, ready to complete the ritual, a piercing scream shattered the silence. It was Mira. She had followed him, suspecting something was wrong. "Rohan, what are you doing?" she cried, running toward him. Her voice woke the villagers, who rushed to the forest with torches. They found Rohan kneeling over Aisha and restrained him before he could complete the ritual. The villagers carried Aisha to the herbalist, who worked tirelessly to reverse the effects of the potion. Mira wept as she held Aisha. "How could you, Rohan?" she sobbed. "She's your daughter." Overwhelmed with guilt, Rohan confessed everything. The villagers, shocked and angry, demanded justice. "He must face the king," one elder declared. Bound and surrounded, Rohan was brought before the king. The grand hall was filled with the villagers, their whispers echoing. The king looked stern as Rohan knelt before him. "Rohan, is this true?" the king asked. "Yes, my king," Rohan admitted. He explained the events, the old man, the ritual, and the price of his wealth. "Chief Arnaf manipulated me, my king. He promised wealth and disappeared after I accepted his offer." The king's face darkened. "Guards, find Chief Arnaf," he commanded. But Chief Arnaf was nowhere to be found. He had fled the village. The king turned to Rohan. "You have committed a grave sin, but your wife's courage saved your daughter. Your life will be spared, but your punishment will be severe. You will spend the rest of your days in prison, atoning for your actions." Rohan bowed his head. "Thank you, my king," he whispered, tears streaming down his face. The villagers scattered, hearts heavy with the weight of what had occurred. Aisha recovered, but the family's bond was forever scarred. Rohan, in his prison cell, vowed to dedicate his remaining days to repentance.